Good evening, everyone. It is Dr. Sheila. If you do not already know who I am the founder of the WOW Wellness with Solex team. And we have been doing this call every week for almost 2 years now, and it is the most exciting time of the week for me. I learn something new every single week, and I've been here for a while. So you never know everything. There's too much to our technology. It's constantly growing, evolving, and keeping us at the forefront of health technologies. So I just want to welcome you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Without you joining us, we wouldn't have a call. And for those of you that are watching the replay, we hope that you hear some really exciting things tonight that light your fire. This technology is making massive waves globally, and we want to get it into every single household. We want to make sure you understand that we are not claiming anything. We are not diagnosing, preventing, curing, anything like that. We are using information technology. The beginning of time, frequency medicine, that's how the world began, by frequency. So that's all we're doing is maximizing that and getting information so that we can make different decisions. And what we've seen is people are getting information that they're not getting in other clinics or practitioners that are helping them solve problems and take care of their health. So we just want to welcome you, and we want to ask you to please share anything that you have using the AO scanner. Anything else Solex if you'd like. We've got a lot of amazing other things with Solex, but the scanner's my favorite. So I am going to let you open it up, and we will ask you to keep it to a couple of minutes so that we can make sure we hear from everyone. So many good things. Who would like to get us started?
So there's no remote tracking like one.
I am hearing some background. If you could mute if you're not speaking, that would be great. Oh, Dr. Keith is joining us. Fantastic. Kathy, did you unmute to say something? Now you're
I
stuck.
didn't realize I was unmuted.
Okay. Do you have anything to share?
I think I'm stuck here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
I apologize. Oh, okay, because I can't even. Anyway, I didn't unmute to say anything, but I will if the floor is open.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to give a brief update on the situation that I gave last week about the young mother that gave me a call about her son who hit his head.
Yeah.
And she called me a couple days ago to mention that he's doing fabulously. He actually got to the point that night where maybe I should do a recap. He bumped his head very, very hard, fooling around on the bed, missed the bed, bunched it, like banged his head on the floor, and it just screaming in pain, poor little guy. And so fast forward, we did the frequencies on him, and my husband was also working in the background doing his magic on something else too. So it's not that it's you just, she gave me a call because she believes in the frequencies, and it worked. She got to the point where a couple of days ago she called for a little update, apologizing that she hadn't called for a while. I should have updated. I should have called her as well. But she said he went to school, not the next day, but the day after, that he was feeling much better. He actually got to the point where he vomited, he threw up, and that was a very, very good sign. So with the frequencies and the healing, and I remember from my son way, way back, bumping his head, I said, if he gets to that point, then you know he's on the road to feeling much better. And he was. So I was very pleased to hear from her that she had that update for me. So I just wanted to update everybody there.
Oh, that is fantastic. That just makes me so excited. I tell you, every time I hear these ways that you guys find somebody or somebody finds you that's in trouble, and you just get to work with your scanner and other things if you need to add some other things too. But that is what this is all about, is we are on a mission to serve and empower humanity. Thank you, Kathy.
Absolutely.
Dr. Keith, I see you on. Do you have anything to share?
Maybe next time. I do have
Okay.
I do have some things.
Fantastic. I cannot wait to hear from you. All righty. Anyone else? Anyone have anything you want to share?
Well, I will.
Hi, Tina.
I'm noticing that I'm feeling lighter, and emotions are kind of coming up to my awareness that maybe I really wasn't so in touch with. And but it feels okay. It feels like they're just like bubbles just being released. And I've been doing the scan now for 5 months, and I'd say this is the best I've felt throughout the time. It's really interesting. And I have a friend in another state, and she was going through some crises, and she was texting me about it, and I didn't really get to talk to her, but I did a scan, and I could kind of tell what was going on emotionally by the scan, which I thought was kind of cool. So all the stuff, then she started telling me, it was like, yep, I already know that. It was kind of neat.
That is really cool.
I know, I feel like a spy, like I know things about you. Maybe I shouldn't.
Well, it's just information, I mean,
No,
I've actually had a couple of people say something about, their fear of being, I don't know, not really violated, but their information being shared. And I'm like, it's just information. I mean, seriously, if you've got, like, I don't know, name something that'll come up on Inner Voice that maybe someone might be embarrassed about. I don't know,
shame.
maybe shame, self-destruction.
Yeah.
So really no reason to be embarrassed by these things. It's just information. It's just information. And if we're embarrassed by it and we can't address it, we can't fix it. So I like to encourage people about that, and not to be not to feel shame for any of these things that might show up, that maybe if somebody's run a scan for you and they can see it, please don't let that make you feel shamed.
Mm-hmm.
It's empowering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear how you're feeling and what you've noticed since you've been using the scanner. That is liberating, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, freeing. That's what we want to do. There's such a heavy cloud over people, and we want to free them from that.
Mm.
Thank you, Tina. Anyone else? Does anybody else have anything to share?
I don't mind sharing if no one else is jumping in.
All righty.
I am so excited because I got the infinity mat. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like the whole family's been on it.
Yeah.
And my son literally he came off of it. He goes, Mom, that mat is insane. And then he's like, I have so much energy. And he took the dog for like an hour run. He felt amazing, and he's got a lot of issues in his legs and crystallization and all of that, and he could feel the difference like within the first session. Yeah. So it's just amazing. Like I'm like, okay, because I've heard of the PMF mats and whatever, and for whatever reason never ever felt the inclination to get one. And then this time I'm like, okay, the price is it's really good, and everything I've tried from this company is really good, so maybe I'll just try it. And oh my goodness, I can't wait. We literally put the Inner Voice transducer on and just lie on it.
Yeah.
And you're getting like the best of both worlds at the same time. It's amazing.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I am actually using it with the hub. So I have a vibe bed actually in the clinic, and I can use the mat with the vibe bed, light, sound, vibration, and frequency, vibrating at the cellular level. And I put the mat on there as well. And then I have been using the hub, and people are getting off that table going, oh my gosh. So I really want to just briefly explain our Infinity Mat, because I don't know if people understand how amazing this technology is. There's tons of mats on the market. There's biomats. There's something with what's the purple crystal? There's, all the different mats we have on the market. And I have tried several of them and not really felt too excited about it, and I'm glad, because the prices, I mean, we're talking like $3,000 to $6,000 for some of these things, which I thought was kind of silly. And then when Lauren launched the Infinity Mat and I was looking at the science and that little thing that came in the package, I threw it away because I didn't know what it was. So when you get your mat, it's got this little vial with a little metal ball in it. You put that on the mat to see it jumping around. That's the traveling magnetic field, because when people use PEMF, typically they're using it in one location, or if it's in a mat, it's like they've got set coils. And so that part of the body, it's used to getting this all the time. It's like if I start asking you, what are you doing? 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 And eventually you're just like, just tone out. Well, when we keep doing things to the body, it's like food sensitivities. You keep eating the same thing and the body's like, that is enough. But with PEMF, the body can get numb to that. And so that's why Lauren did the traveling magnetic field, so that it's always a surprise. So your cells don't have time to tune it out. It's like they're constantly surprised. So it's always new. Well, on top of that, you've got the far infrared, which we know is very healing. That's energy from the sun, and it promotes a lot of healing within the body. You can adjust that from 0 to 99. I love it right at 50, but my grandbabies love it at 99. They're crazy. And they're Eskimos. But for people that can't tolerate a lot of heat, they can still turn that on and have it low and cool and still get the benefits. And there's also other programs that you can set for mental cognitive, for grounding, for clarity. There's a few other things. You get a little thing that explains those. But this is like the most phenomenal technology all in one. It way beats any other thing on the market. There's nothing like it. And it's $1,200. Are you kidding me? Ridiculous.
And all the gemstones for each chakra. Like, oh my God.
7 semi-precious stones,
Yeah.
8 rows each, ground up, so that PEMF and infrared frequency is going across all those gemstones as well, that have their own frequencies that match our chakra centers or energy centers. So really balancing out our energy centers. Seriously, there's nothing like it on the market. My whole family fights over it too.
Yeah. Well, my son falls asleep on it, and my daughter's like, "It's my turn. Get him off. Get him off." Yeah. Like,
My
look, he's
grandbabies
relaxing.
push their parents off.
Yeah. And then I had, oh goodness, all this week, because for my website, I've been asking for testimonials from people that I've done the scans on. And oh my God, like, I mean, you know, the woman in Dominican gave a raving testimonial because she's doing so much better that now her mother-in-law is like, hey, I want to do this. So I just signed her up for a month. And I'm like, look, after this, let me show you how to do it yourself. Please, yes. You can save so much money. Let's do this time, and then I'll show you. And now it's really interesting because I've been treating her for over a year. She has this really funky thing where it's almost like a growth on her pinky. And, you know, we've been treating it and it gets softer, but then it's been, because she's all the way in Montreal. So it's been a while since I've been there. And now she's like, oh no, it's feeling really hard and awkward again, right? And I'm like, you know, I wish I could see where, like, at what layer is it? And today we looked at the scans and it's right on like the skeleton level. Oh, right. That the excess calcification is just, that's why it feels like a growth on the bone. Like it feels like bone. I'm like, yeah, because it's right on there. So it's all crystallizing right at that level. Right. Whereas with the other gentleman who is out of the hospital and doing fantastic, with him, you know, every so often the fear creeps in, because if he'll get an ache or a pain, he thinks, oh no, you know, and I'm like, you got to stop thinking oh no. Yeah. This is you healing, and it's layers, you know, you'll feel better and then it'll be like, oh, what happened? Well, you've got to the next layer of the healing. So be patient with it. But I love it because I can run his scan and show him, look, it's not at the skeleton level. It is, you know, your muscle. It is the connective tissue. And I can see him just changing and being so relaxed. You know, and actually, he's another one that I'm waiting for his, because he's like, I'll give you a testimonial. If I'm like, oh, fantastic, you know, for the guy that needed to have all the answers and know everything. And now he can't really explain how it totally works, but he just knows that it does, you know? Right. So it's amazing. Yeah, it's like I said, it's been so good. And then I had a 49-year-old who found out she's pregnant. So she was having a bit of a meltdown and she's like, well, they want to do another blood test to find out. I'm like, well, I can run a scan. Let me see, right? And sure enough, the markers came up that, well, either she's pregnant or she's got a tumor. So I'm like, well, she goes, I'm like, where? She goes, well, they said that. I'm like, well, let's just keep an eye on both, right? Because some little forms of endometriosis and stuff showed up too. So I said, look, I want you to just breathe. I'll keep sending the frequencies. We're going to hope for the best, but she's just trying to wrap her head around becoming a mom at 50.
Oh gosh.
So, but again, to be able to see that, okay, yes, because on the outside, she looks healthy, she looks great. But now that I've run the scan, it's like, well, you have a guest in there, but you didn't clean up the room before the guest came. So let's help you get that room cleaned up.
Very good
'cause they're gonna be
analogy.
there for a while. So,
Yeah.
but like again, it's just so amazing the things that we can see and the things that we can do and how we can help in a gentle, non-invasive way. It
Absolutely.
just blows my mind.
Absolutely. And I love what you were talking about being able to see the layers, because who can afford to keep going in and getting CT scans and MRIs and x-rays? That's expensive and it's a lot of toxic radiation. We have that capability in our scan technology with no radiation, and it doesn't cost you anything.
But also, Sheila, it's the time in between those where the
Right.
brain goes to the worst case scenario.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you're actually creating crap that doesn't need to be there because of the
Right.
fear and the bad thoughts and the
Right.
worst case scenario you keep doing. And so this is what I absolutely love is there's no time delay. It's instantaneous.
Yeah.
You get the results and you can put the person's mind at ease as best as you can,
Absolutely.
because some people are just spreaders and they're still going to go there. But,
Yeah.
you can do what you can do. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a great point, because I was talking to someone, I don't know, recently. It might have even been on last week's call, but we're talking about the time people are needing appointments and they're booked out 6 months. Who's got 6 months to sit and wait and worry?
Yeah.
That's unnecessary worry that's completely depleted their immune system and created a whole host of other issues. Oh, this is why every household has got to have this empowerment.
Yeah.
Wowzers. That is awesome. Awesome. Good work, Shalou. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're on a road trip right now. We've been on the road through Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba since the first of the month. And we've been sharing this with all these new clients that we're seeing, because we only come through every 3 months. And these people, a lot of them need more attention than once every 3 months.
Yeah.
And they're seeing the value. Melissa's been running frequencies on them, showing them like what it's capable of, doing the scans and showing them the results. And so I think we've had 4 or 5 people sign up while we've been on the road.
Wow.
But just the results that they're all getting, like, they're blown away by it. It's just it's wild. It's so wild. We talk about blood tests. We were prepping a client of ours to come to our clinic. He's from out of town, and so we were using the scanner because he's got cancer. And so we were kind of tracking and monitoring him with the scanner and the test results of the scanner. And it got to a point where he had to go to the hospital. He couldn't stay doing things naturally. He had to go to the hospital. He had a blocked bile duct.
Mm.
And frequencies, we tried for 3 days. And I just said, or Melissa and I both said, like, you got to go. Like,
Yeah.
now is the time where you need a doctor.
Yep.
And, he's still in the hospital. He's been there for over 2 weeks now. We just got to see him here this morning on our part of our road tour. But just being able to use, so when he went into the hospital, they did blood work on him. And we had done a scan on him about 12 hours before that blood work. And then we did another scan after he got his scan results back. So again, within about 12 hours. So we had bookends of the blood work, and we got him to send us the blood work, and it was identical to what the AO scanner with a voice recording is giving them. And it took them like most of a day to get the blood work sorted out, which takes us, what, 5-10 minutes?
Yeah.
And so,
Wow.
Chemistry and hormones and
like everything. And of course, more, right? The scan, the results you get from the scanner is more than a doctor typically will test for anybody for anything.
Yeah.
And just getting all of that information can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's also just super valuable,
Empowering.
especially when you got somebody who's kind of terminal,
Right.
or kind of going that direction. It can shed some light on some different things on the silver linings.
but when
Yeah.
his eyes turn on frequencies, then
Oh yeah, his eyes. It was like it wasn't bloodshot, but his eyes were turning red.
Uh-huh.
We sent frequencies, and it was within
for reddening of the eyes.
the reddening of the eyes, and it was within that they messaged us back. His eyes are cleared up now.
Wow.
So this guy, he's still not out of the woods yet, but he's a believer, and he just wants us to keep running the scans for him until he's out, and then the family can kind of settle down, and then they'll do it themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a Hutterite colony, and he's the boss of the Hutterite colony. And we said to him, like, you got over 100 people in your colony, and you guys are always running out to doctors and tests and this and that. You own this. You delegate one person to operate it, and they're going to learn how to read all the scans and everything else, and they will become your personal doctor going forward. And you'll only go to the hospital when you actually need emergency work done.
Amen.
So they're definitely on board. It's just a matter of getting him out of the hospital first, so that they can start taking over this. But yeah,
Wow.
we've got about 3 other Hutterite colonies that are all jumping on here within probably another week or two. They're all going to be signing up because we just showed them the value of how many people they can help in the colony and their other family members at other colonies. And it makes sense versus having to run to the city, because none of them live near a city. So they're spending hours each direction to go to a hospital and then have to wait for days for results.
Yeah. Wow. That is so empowering, Jason.
Yeah.
What a ministry. That's what I'm saying. We are in ministry right here. We're on a mission to empower humanity. That is powerful. That is powerful work that you and your wife are doing. Thank you so much. Because you're right, especially in these remote areas. I mean, this just makes sense. You know, oh my goodness, I could just go on forever. I don't want to take up anybody else's testimony, but my heart is just so full of gratitude right now, because people need what we have. We've just got to tell them. So thank you so much for what you're doing. And make sure that you are running body systems on him and scanning and optimizing his chromosomes and mitochondria, the human cells, blood cells. Whew, gosh.
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Who else has something before we go? We've got 4 minutes and Lauren's got something really exciting to share with us tonight. But we've still got a few minutes to hear some more information. I want to hear from you, please. Anyone? I know Jason's just kind of took my breath away. I'm still crying. Going once, going twice. Trying to think. Well, I know with the AO core, my patients are loving the core. We've had multiple testimonies. I've got a veteran. He's in his late 70s, early 80s, and he had blood spots, really bad from the thin skin. Just being on the core for less than a month, his skin's completely cleared up. And he was in yesterday for a raindrop, and he's like, I am just so happy with my skin. And he had gastric bypass. So talk about digestive issues that we've been working with, because you cut part of the stomach out and you're missing enzyme functions and all kinds of absorption and all kinds of things. So we've had to do a lot of work with his nutrient absorption and gut health. He's on the AO core and he feels better than he has ever felt since his surgery. So that is perfect. If you know people that have had those surgeries, they struggle and they need help, and the core is working. Hormone imbalances, the core is solving problems. Crohn's, SIBO, I've got another one that we've had multiple protocols. Those are really difficult challenges. The core is offering phenomenal results. It's amazing. And for $120, when you tie that with your scan subscription, that is ridiculously cheap. I mean, my patients are saving a ton of money with this new core. So make sure you consider getting yourself on it. My adult kids are on it. They've asked to have their own subscription so they can stay on it. They love how they're feeling, and they're young adults. So it's pretty amazing. Does anyone have anything to share? We've got 2 minutes, and then we get to hear from Solex. Anyone? Unmute yourself. Crickets. I'm hearing crickets. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bid you good night. And thank you so much for taking time to be here tonight. This makes my week. I look forward to this call every week. If any of you need me over the weekend, I just want you to know I'm not ignoring you. I'm actually officiating the remarriage of one of my kids in Cancun. So I will be out all weekend and I won't be answering. But I have so much gratitude for you being here. And I'm so grateful that the scanner has found you, because as you're helping yourself, you're going to be helping other people. And that is what our mission is to help to empower everyone. So we want to be liberated and free, empowered. Anyway, I love you all so much. Let me know if you need anything, if there's anything I can do to help you. Spread the word, help other people, whatever it is. So good night and hop on the Solex call.